Has it ever happened or have you witnessed the company going into a turmoil, the founder made an obscene remark or something which was not moral? This happens more than often. Hey guys, this is Deepak Thakkar back with another episode of Founders Bytes, a simplified and unfiltered version of digital marketing. Today we will be talking about ORM as it was earlier, and now with the answer engine coming into picture, the changes it has brought to the industry.
Which approach is better for ORM, reactive or proactive?
ORM is something that should be very, very proactive in nature. You're going to start building the tone for your company, the narrative that you want to create about your company. Otherwise, it is just a reactive approach which doesn't help for online reputation management.
How do you start with ORM?
Before starting with the online reputation management part of it, you need to figure out where are you standing. So first of all, go to any of the chat engines or go to Google or Bing and try figuring out along with the company name or the face of the company who is the founder of the company with these names, what are the reviews, what is the feedback that first hits the screen. So that is where you need to start from. You need to continuously monitor it. So a monitoring tool like Talkwalker or Meltwater is something that you should definitely have. There are a lot of options available besides these also. Second, you need to look at Ambition Box, Glassdoor, because they are equally important. It's not just a decision that a person makes before coming into the interview. Somehow this also affects the purchase of your product. So if the company is not justified with the employees, people try to shirk away from buying the products. Thirdly, you could also be looking at the reviews. So reviews is very, very critical. So if you have a 4.4 review on Google, which was 2 years back, and now there is no fresh reviews coming in, that shows there is a discontinuity. Discontinuity is not good for the business. The chat engines as of now consider that this is not a healthy sign. So a 4.2 of current reviews is way better than 4.6 or 4.8 review, which was 2 years back.
What is search engineering?
So that's something wherein you start building a narrative and you flood the internet with content pieces that you want people to read first. So that could be talking about various attributes of your company. That is called search engine. That was valid when people were looking at search engine ranking pages. Nowadays, the trend has changed. Now you have shifted to answer engine optimization. So it's a dated way of handling the content on search.
Can you give us an example of the ORM case that you have handled?
I can definitely give the example, but I'll not be taking any names. We were working for a venture capital company known across the world. The problem came in wherein a senior managing director's name started getting associated with companies which were not governed properly, and this started growing out of proportion. Every media, everybody was talking about it. So when they approached us, we had about 18 negative links coming up and 2 positive links coming up. That is 2 pages of SERP. And this is something I'm talking about 2 years back. Now, when we completed the whole activity, within 4 months, we were able to bring the complete opposite of it. So we had 18 positives and 2 negatives left on the first 2 pages. So this practice held true when we did this activity, not anymore. We wrote a lot of article and content with different handles and published them on different high domain authority websites. So this stays, but how it is used is something that you need to be very wary about now. So that is how we were able to bring down the negatives and pushed up the positives. Besides that, we wanted to control the narrative as well. So we started publishing actual factual content on different sites, which was nowhere related to the problem or the crisis that we were facing. Secondly, when a person is on the board of directors for so many companies, their pages also play a critical role. Rather than me talking good about myself, if other people are going to talk good about me, that is definitely going to rank higher. So that is how we were able to suppress all the negatives and bring out the positives on the SER.
What has changed after search has shifted from Google to AI engines?
So the first and the foremost, the companies who used to provide suppress only proposals, they hold no value now. Secondly, which is more difficult, that nowadays you are relying on a paragraph of information which is being pulled from multiple sources. So either you are able to identify the source which is throwing the negative to the paragraph, or you will not be able to take any action. Second, now every link that you are trying to counter will not be able to do it in a jiffy. So either you have to go back to them, present the facts, or you have to give them different content so that the refreshed content starts getting pulled up by the chat engines. Secondly, even if you're doing this activity, you will always be unsure of what is the time duration, because some might be able to pick it up in 2 weeks' time, somebody might take even a month's time to get the refreshed content coming back to the chat engine. So that is another difficulty that we face now. AIR does not reduce dependency on SERP. So if you look at it, all the chat engines pick up content from different sources. So it makes it even more difficult. Now, if your content needs to be brought into the AI engines, you have to be open enough. So if you are not retrievable, you cannot be published on the answer engine. So that is the biggest problem. Second, what has happened is that initially your ranking was a destination. Now it has become a eligibility filter. So SERP, initially you were able to measure and it was visible. Now it has become invisible and you cannot measure. So the discipline shifts from displacement to corpus correction, entity control, and evidence saturation. Finally, the sequence matters. Removal at source, correction, saturation, and then suppression. Follow this and you will be able to handle your ORM very effectively. Signing up for today, please go ahead and share it with someone who would benefit from it. And please comment what is it that you would want to hear from us next.